Hey everyone, welcome back to OnTarget with Archer. I'm Stacy Bresler, managing partner here at Archer Energy Solutions. For the month of April, we're going to turn our attention to something that's starting to take shape across the industry, and this is the big shift in NERC compliance. And you know, if you've been working in this space for a while, you know that compliance, it just doesn't stand still. It evolves as the grid evolves. And right now, we're in the middle of another transition, one that's being driven by changes in how the grid is built, how it's operated, and how it's exposed to risk. Historically, NERC CIP has focused clearly by defining the assets, the control centers, the substations, and systems that directly support the bulk electric system. And those boundaries made sense when infrastructure was more centralized and easier to define. But today, the grid is becoming more distributed, more connected, and more dependent on technologies that don't always fit neatly into those traditional models. We're seeing increased reliance on third-party services, remote connectivity, and technologies that sit outside that conventional perimeter. And at the same time, there's a growing attention on how these systems behave during disturbances, how they're configured, and how they're actually secured. And what this means is that compliance is beginning to shift from being primarily asset-based to becoming more risk and behavior-focused. It's less about where a system sits and more about what impact it can have on reliability. And this is important because that shift brings all kinds of new challenges. Organizations, they're going to have to think differently about scope. They need better visibility into systems that may not have historically been considered in scope. And they need to be prepared to explain how they're managing risks that don't align cleanly with these existing categories. This doesn't mean the standards are changing overnight, not at all. But it does mean expectations are evolving, and organizations that start adopting early, they're going to be in a much stronger position when those expectations become formal requirements. So over the next few weeks, we'll break this down a little bit further, get more clarity. We'll talk about where these changes are coming from, what areas are getting the most attention, and what utilities should be doing now to prepare for what's going to change inevitably. That's it for this episode of On Target with Archer. I'm Stacy Bresler. Stay ahead of this shift, and I'll see you next week.
Don't miss out on any of our insightful content. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay informed whenever we release new videos. For top-tier security solutions, Archer is your trusted partner. Explore our offerings at archerint.com and get in touch via email or phone to fortify your company's defenses. Your questions drive our content. Leave them in the comments below and join us every Monday for a fresh episode of On Target with Archer.